Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, people. Welcome to another FANZ FIESTA. I've got some good guys here. Good guys here that surely light up your world.
We got there.
You know what I mean? Oh, gosh. Before I start the show, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Excuse me. Like and subscribe to the channel. Also share the content. And yeah, hit me up in the comment section, in the chat section. If you've got any questions you want to ask the panel or myself, and for that, put it in there and we will get round to it. You know what I mean? So, listen, introducing on my right, the man in the moment, Hot Fuzz 44. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. I wouldn't necessarily call myself man of the moment because I'm not the one that's been given a contract extension. Though some people have, for some reason, made comparisons in terms of my hairstyle to Mikel Arteta. God knows where that comparison's come from. But that's a chat from the good, the bad, and the ugly show for you. But I'm doing okay. I wish I was getting contract extensions like Mikel Arteta and getting near £20 million a year, and not really having to do all that much work to do it. You know, I'm not having to finish top of any class, not win any races, not lift any trophies or cups or anything, and I'll just happily coast along and just keep getting pay rise after pay rise, as long as everybody in the fan base is happy, though. But yeah, I'm doing fine. Hope everybody else is doing all well and all good.
Okay, okay. You know what they call that, don't you, Hot Fuzz? Big pimping, easy living.
Yeah.
Posh Bertie, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, thank you. Good to be here, second week in a row. Yeah, as always, very good to be on your channel, and I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you very much. Also, my fellow Geordie, good friend of mine. How you doing, John?
Big up to you, Rods, and big up to you, Fuzz. Big up to Posh Birdie, and big up to everyone in the chat. So I hope you're well. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, listen, I mean, it's been absolutely brilliant, and the channel is going up as well. Still getting the trolls a couple of weeks ago, but at the end of the day, sort of thing. It just goes to show, Rods. I mean, if they want to troll us, cool, carry on. But you know what? I've got to rise to the bait. My chances keep rising and rising and rising.
That's what you got to
They're
do.
jealous of you.
Yeah. What you got to do, mate, just keep on working, man. Fuck the trolls, you know what I mean? And my good friend, the words of wisdom, the one and only Tony from Early Doors.
I was just about to say, Antoine came in, mate. You're talking about him, Uncle, aren't you? You're not talking about me, that's for sure.
No, it was directed towards you, my friend. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, I can't complain, mate. We're just living life, aren't we? We're
Good
living
stuff.
life and enjoying it. We just literally at the end, we're doing things that we love. Do you know what I mean? Doing things that we love, having football chats, and yeah, just generally just doing things that we love, taking life easy.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start off talking about, excuse me, I'm going to go around the table. We're going to talk about these international breaks. Because basically, we just come off a tournament, yeah, where people have slugged their guts out, do you know what I mean? Personally, I thought England done well, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that don't, you know, want to think so, but I thought England done well to get to the final. Just couldn't get over the finishing line. But, you know, under sort of like Gareth Southgate, they have improved. There's no doubt about it. They have improved. You know what I mean? Semi-finals, 2 finals, a quarter-final. Come on now, man. There was times that we wasn't even getting past the quarter-final. You know, no matter how we tried. But, like, what we got now, yeah, we got, like, soon as, because basically the internationals was a couple of months ago, but now we've got the Nation League. Is there any need for it? I mean, I'll come to you first. What's your thoughts on this, like, the repetitive internationals all the time?
I think internationals, unless it's actually like tournament qualifiers, I mean, it's already quite difficult to find a time in the season to actually like stick anything sort of closer together, or it's like a period of like qualifying international football to then go into the tournament or anything like that. But I mean, international friendlies. I think the friendly side of things, if there's any friendlies, I'd just scrap all of those anyways, and sort of keep it sort of like unofficial, behind closed doors type matches or something that uses like other sort of England or international players for each respective country. Because I just feel like with the scheduling for seasons at the moment, with there being 4 competitions for every club that's at Premier League level, and go down to Championship, League One, League Two, and players in those divisions. I mean, they've got extra teams in their league divisions as well. So there's more games there. They've still got their Carabao Cups, their FA Cups, but instead of like international European competitions, they actually have another cup as well, which I'm pretty sure is just for lower division teams. I can't remember what it's called. I think it used to be called the J Paint Trophy or the Papa John's Trophy or something. So I mean,
Paint Trophy.
yeah, I think it was something like that. So
Papa John's in there.
well, I was pretty sure it was called Papa John's, like that pizza one. But but yeah, there's so much football going on, and it does sort of get to a point where it's like, well, how much football is really necessary? And I think for a lot of the games that are going on in the season at the moment, it does feel like there's too many unnecessary fixtures going on. And as for other teams, the clubs with their small playing squad sizes, and then the concerns about injuries and stuff. I mean, players at clubs with big squad availability, with big squad rotations, even they're complaining about the excessive workload. But yeah, I just feel like there are games that are there that need to be cut out. But at the end of the day, it's money men that decide when everybody plays, not people who actually think about the humane side of things. Got money to make, business people to please.
What's your thoughts, Posh Bertie?
I think whilst you are going to have to play these tournament qualifiers at some point, I just don't get how there has to be one in September, one in October, and one in November. They're a bit too close together. That's the kind of problem that I have. And when that happens, and I'm not just talking about Arsenal here, I'm talking about other clubs, injuries take place to certain players. And sometimes in Nathan Ake's case, it's a long-term injury, and that's a big risk. Having these tournament qualifiers very close to Premier League fixtures, and it's a bit of a nuisance, really. So I think, as one of the comments says, they should put the international games at the end of the season. Probably not a bad idea. I mean, I'd rather. I just don't like how there's 3 international breaks so close together. It's a bit of a nuisance, really. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it, John?
Coming from here, you talk about the international break or
internationals in general, sort of like, do you know what I mean? What's your thoughts on it?
Thing is though, right? I can remember years ago, right, when international break came, it used to be like a once a week, one game a week, and now it's fortnight now. But it's a bit of a hindrance, to know what I mean? It's a bit of a hindrance. Excuse me. And the thing is, right, I mean, if you have an international break, you have to play international football, you can get risk getting an injury. And also as well, it's just, if you're going to play the strongest team in the national break, if I get my words right, then there's always it's like all the guys focus on getting injured, yeah? And touch wood, our players not injured, which is good. But like I said, if you have an international break, just have it come to, let's say, one game a week sort of thing, But I think they need, personally, they need to look at it again. But what else can you do? If it's an international break, it's not a lot you can do. But I don't like it personally, but it is what it is.
You got any thoughts, Tony, on the whole situation?
I mean, if you look at this season, it's coming early, isn't it? This international break, earlier than normal, and unfortunately, you can see like the likes of Arsenal. It's cost them 2 players at the moment. You know, you've got Odegaard out. I mean, obviously Declan Rice. That was, stupid. He did the other thing there. I mean, as Posh Bertie said, Ake being stretchered off, and there's a few other players that's been injured in these competitions. I mean, Arsenal Manic's put a great one there. Filled the youngsters and reserves in this joint competition, because that's when you do it. Do it during pre-season. Do it. It has no relevance at this stage whatsoever.
Yeah.
We just got over the Euros, and you want to throw this competition in. And as John's alluded to there, the thing is, you got to think sports science has come a long way now. Players are more athletes. There's more money in stake, as Fuzzy's mentioned, and because of that, it's costing teams. And even though it's so early into the season, full well, for the likes of Arsenal that will want to kind of win this Premier League, this could set them back now a couple of games, because obviously Odegaard's out for 3 or 4 games, maybe more.
Yeah.
7 or 8.
So so if it's 7 or 8, that's even worse for them. All they've got to take is another injury, because we know obviously what they've bought, which was very little during the transfer window. Their squad is light again, so it's ultimately it's going to cost them. And to top it all off, with Arteta signing that 3-year contract, it's just going to put more pressure onto him more than anything else, because all they're going to look at is, well, you didn't buy during the summer window. Now we've got this injury. We're worried if Saliba gets injured. We're worried about, if you look at Rice when he comes back from suspension, if he gets injured again, there's your spine straight away, because there's no forward lineup. We know that because they didn't get a forward. So it's for clubs. Yeah, it's just a nonsense. Really at this time of the year, it's just pointless. Absolutely pointless.
Because that, if I'm right, isn't Calafuri injured as well?
Yeah, he got injured. Yeah, he hobbled off as well.
Yeah.
That's the other player I'm thinking of. Yeah, cauliflower. That's the other one.
Cauliflower, Stop it. No, but it's to me, it's just like, why have these internationals so close together? And the thing is about this international is the what's it called? Nations League? Is that the Nations League? And that's just glorified friendly, Some of you don't know that. That's a glorified friendly, because what they did, they tried to do away with sort of like, obviously the friendlies, because people are saying there's no point in us playing these friendlies mid-season, like breaking up our flow with our club. Do you understand what I'm saying? So then if they got rid of that now, they thought of another idea to bring this in, like the Nations League. And literally it's like a glorified one. I just don't see the point. You got people like, as I say, you got the people like Odegaard, Calafuri, that's got injured, playing Nations Leagues. Do you know what I mean? I heard that sort of like, I didn't see it, but I heard that the injury to Odegaard was horrendous. It was really bad. Do you know what I mean?
His ankle's on the other side.
Yeah, it could be. It could be 7 or 8 or even more. I think he'd be out for half a
3
season.
weeks minimum. I've heard, but that could be longer.
It could be longer. Yeah. Because
I mean, I think the doctor said, like he said, Posh Bertie just said, I think it's about 4 weeks, but it all depends on the player more than anything else. How his recovery rate, what they do in training as well. There's all those factors that come into it. I mean, going on at Nations League, if you think about it, it's a case of let's see whose prawn sandwich tastes the best, because we can go to this place and go to all to do with the it's a money merchant thing. It's a money merchant.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just think it's ridiculous. I think what it is, look, sports science and the net has come a long way. I get that. You know what I mean? Yeah, but they're human. They're not robots. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna break down. Do you know what I'm saying? If not on duty for their country, but on duty for sort of like for their club. It's only look at what's it name? McAllister. McAllister's played in the Copa America. He's won that. He's come back. Yeah, you can see he's knackered, but he's had to go on duty again. Do you know what I mean? Same with like Luis Diaz and all those sort of players that have had to travel all the way to South America to play like these, I don't know, friendlies. Because it was friendlies, play these friendlies. What for? Why are they leaving? And if you say at the end of the day that you don't want to go because just obviously you don't see the point, the amount of shit that you get is unbelievable. They say that you don't care about your country and this and that. No. It's not about I don't care about my country. I care about myself. Do you know what I mean? You know, I've got to be able to sort of like, you know, do what I'm doing. I can't do it if I'm run down. I just don't see the point. Do you know what I mean? I'm really
trying to survive on the schedule.
Yeah. Good look, right? You got the Champions League, yeah, which has got a different format now, right? Which you're playing more games. I mean, the way they've done it is better, but it's still more games. Same with Europa Cup and obviously the Europa Conference League, yeah. There are more games added onto that, right? So then you also got to do your league, yeah. Then you might be in the League Cup, FA Cup, and then you got to go on international duties. Come on, man, that's too much, man. That's way too much games. Do you know what I mean? And furthermore, I don't see the point, yeah, I know you lot share this with me. I don't see the point, yeah, we're playing a semi-final and a final in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't it be a Villa Park where it used to be Villa Park and Old Trafford? Why can't it be there? Do you understand?
Same place for the FA Cup as well. Like, they've got the semi-final at Wembley for some reason.
Yeah.
I never got that.
It makes no sense.
Not being funny. I mean, you know, when we used the Millennium Stadium, why not play the semi-finals there, or like I said, Villa? I mean, Millennium Stadium was a great place for us. You know, while Wembley's being built. So why not keep it there?
Yeah. Do you remember the 2006 FA Cup? Oh, that was a beauty.
The headphones suddenly played that on for us. I don't know what you're on about. No idea what you're on about.
I love it, Tony. I love it. Oh, gosh. Faber, welcome, Sideline Football Show. How are you doing, sir?
Welcome, my friend. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly well.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, guys, thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah.
Guys, to you, my guy.
This is a good friend of mine, Sideline Football Show. He's out there in Canada. Do you know what I mean? Very good friend of mine. Do you know what I mean? So I brought him in. Hot Fuzz, you got Hot Fuzz here. You got Posh Bertie. You got Tony, the voice of wisdom, and you got John as well, our Geordie friend as well. All in the group, all here. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, good friend of mine. I'll ask you quick. Famo, what do you think of all these internationals? Like, you know, like so much international games. What do you think?
Well, for any player, to be honest, like it's an honor for them to play for their national team, right? So that's point. You know, we need to kind of stress that, right? But at the same time, the schedule need to be looked at in general when it comes to international football or the local leagues, whether it's in Europe and South America, North America, Asia, and Africa. The schedule is so crowded that it's really hurting these players. It's hurting the clubs. It's hurting the local leagues, as well as the international games as well, right? So I think the committee that's responsible for putting that schedule, they should have previous players in them or ex-players, because they've been there, they've done that, instead of having like just regular business people or money people that are putting these schedules, right? You cannot not have national games, international games, right? You're going to have the World Cup. You're going to have the Europe nation, the other European nation competition. I forgot what it's called. The League Nation is called, or Nation League? Nation League. Exactly. I don't know. In my opinion, that competition is not necessary. There is the European nation, right? Like that's enough. Just like all of the other continents around the world. It's enough games as is,
Mm.
right? Now the Champions League is coming out. Every team gonna pay a minimum of 2 extra games,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's gonna provide more money and more income to these clubs, but that's gonna be in the expense of the health of these players, right?
Yeah.
For us, Liverpool, we almost lost McAllister for an injury, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal, oh my God, that injury for Odegaard, I think you guys were talking about it. It's horrible. It looks really bad. It may be 3 to 8 weeks from what I've been
Yeah.
reading and hearing. But that's
Minimum of 3
horrible, you
weeks, I
know?
heard.
Yeah, like to be honest, injuries. I played a little bit football when I was younger. I would not wish any injury on anyone, you know, even on rivals, with the exception to Bruno Fernandes, because I don't like him. But and I think we can have some rest from him, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's my opinion when it comes to the schedule and the injuries, you know.
Yeah, well said, well said. Big up TQ Tech. Big up to you. Hope you hit the like button and also subscribe if you haven't subscribed. He said big up Rods and the panel. So big up to you. Arsenal Maniac says big up. And we got a question from Ravi. Ravi always comes up with good questions. And it's a question for John, actually, you know. And it says, question for John. Do Toon fans generally like the direction the club is moving in and how they are playing?
The direction of the club is moving well. I mean, the thing is, there's loggerheads between Paul Mitchell and Eddie Howe. I mean, look, I thought it was going to be like a clashing personalities there because Paul Mitchell wants to buy players all over Europe, yeah, and World Football South America and Europe and that. But Eddie Howe just want to buy British players that's got Premier League experience, yeah. The thing is, though, you have to move on, yeah. I love Eddie Howe to bits. You know, I'm a big fan of Eddie Howling, but you've got to be ruthless. You've got to go out there and get the best players you can get. Yeah, your own players coming through. Like I said, in South America, Germany, Spain, Italy, France, you know. But Eddie Howe hasn't got that function yet, do you know what I mean? But going back to the results, Swiss, I think I'm applied to Raddy. I mean, I take the points, but we've not been playing well at all at this moment in time. But we are trying to click. But if we start clicking, we've got 2 away games coming up, winnable games, Wolves away, Fulham away, and we get something like 4 points out of them, then that'll tell us where we're going to be because we've got Man City next at home. That's not going to be easy. Everyone knows that. But we've got to wait and see. 3 games in, I'm not going to get carried away yet. You know, it's a long way to go. It's a long season. You know, one of these fans going to like pipe up and say, "Well, we're going to do okay here," like, you know, but just take one game at a time and just see how it goes.
Thanks. There's a comment here from Oregon Guna. Says, yeah. Is it Dow? Is it Dow?
Dow. Yeah, big up Dow.
Yeah, big up.
Yes.
Not for 20. There's Arteta being awarded for failure. What's your thoughts on that possibility?
Well, when I watch the North London derby on Sunday, it'll be quite a difficult watch because I won't be able to tell the difference between the 2 teams. That's essentially how I feel about Arteta's contract extension. Now, look, I accept that he does deserve credit for taking us from being 15th in the league, losing at home to Burnley, and to competing for the title in the space of 2 seasons. I get that, but in the nearly 5 years he's been in charge of Arsenal, he's only won 1 trophy, and that was the FA Cup. That was in his first few months in charge with a completely different squad. He's built the Arsenal in his image and he's won nothing since. In fact, in the FA Cup, the cup that he's won, we've not got past the 4th round since then. And all I want to know is when we keep hearing, trust the process. It's a project. Well, he's been in charge for 5 years. When are the trophies coming? And I thought that, his contract was expiring at the end of this season. I I had a feeling, obviously this is not true now, but I had a feeling that Arteta himself was waiting until if he won something this season, and that depended on how his contract was going to go. If he didn't win anything, he'd probably walk, and if he did, he'd extend it. But obviously, that's not true. So if we don't win anything, like if we've not won anything for 4 of the 5 years Arteta's been in charge, and our fans accept this and think that this is all amazing, we're essentially turning into what Tottenham were under Pochettino. Great side, play great football, but win nothing. With always the nearly club. But when in this project are we going to get the trophies? Because we're seeing nothing at the moment. So that's how I feel about Arteta's contract extension. If he won something this season, a major honour, I would have extended it. But I don't get why we're doing this now. And it will look pretty embarrassing if we lose against Tottenham on Sunday after that contract extension. It will be very bad optics.
Do you know? Have you seen that sort of like thing on TikTok? And it's on Turkish's channel, and it's got Grizz Khan on there, Deji's on there, Saeed, and a couple other chaps that I don't really know. But anyway, what the question was from the chat, right? It's like, what is the most memorable cup that you won? Do you know what I mean? So obviously, Arsenal guys said Invincible. Saeed said the 2008 Champions League. Liverpool fans said Istanbul, and somebody else said something else. Yeah. Then when it comes to Deji, yeah, it was just quiet.
My club.
Yeah. It was just quiet. I swear it could hear a pin drop. You know what I mean? Just quiet. I think that says it all. It's just like Posh Bertie, when you said like Tottenham, that just sprung to my mind what I saw today. Do you know what I mean? He was just quiet. He started to get angry. He goes, "Oh, if I start cussing this guy in the chat, I don't want anybody to say anything." Do you know what I mean? What are you cussing him for? It's true though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like the last time Tottenham won anything of really relevance, yeah, I think Cliff Richards and the Shadows were in part. Famous, weren't they?
Me and you had air. That's me and you had air.
I don't even think my dad was born last time Tottenham won a league title, and he's 60 this year. So apologies for my dad for giving away his age.
I know, but stop it! Stop it! You got to laugh. I need to get a Spurs fan on there one time. Seriously, I need to get. Oh my gosh! Listen,
if you do though, Uncle, just make sure by the side of you've got a can of Mr. Sheen. Yeah, they know to dust them shelves with all that dust on it. Clean it all down.
Oh, stop it! Oh gosh. So listen, this thing with with the injury to Odegaard, how bad is it? Posh Bertie. How bad is it?
As I said, it was going to be a minimum of 3 weeks, but it could be longer, and that's obviously going to be a big miss. And that's the position where we've got no serious depth whatsoever. You've got some Arsenal fans going, "Oh, we need to start Ranieri against Spurs." Do you really think he's going to do that? Do you really think Mikel's going to do that? Don't be ridiculous. It's the one position where we've got no serious depth. That's why I do not rate our transfer window. We've not filled in our attack apart from a backup for Saka, which was another cast off from Chelsea again. That's why I don't rate our transfer window. And Arteta and Edu are now going to pay now because they've seen the injury to Odegaard, and we're going to have to go back to Havertz in midfield, which is always a disaster.
So, Tony, do you think that Arsenal should have bought a striker in the summer?
Yeah, 100%. It's what they needed. They definitely needed a striker because you can't rely on Jesus. Havertz, I think he's kind of basically kind of surprised a lot of people by getting the goals he did for the big money they paid for him. But yeah, they're definitely missing a striker. You can't, you can't rely on maybe Odegaard when he was playing, obviously scoring. You can't rely on Martinelli. You can't always rely on Saka. It's where the goals are going to come from, and they need someone prolific to be up there, especially a club of the stature of Arsenal as it is.
Yeah.
They've always had top strikers, so why they're missing out on this one? It bears belief. I mean, the goal machine they've just sold off to Palace, so they've got no worries. With Nketiah.
He's got Palace, isn't he? But the thing, I think they should. I think number one, they need a killer up front. And I think they should have gone for Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
I think it
only would have cost you 40 million. But no, he had an attitude problem, apparently. For God's sake. It's the excuse of it's the same excuse with Aubameyang when he left, and it's the same excuse with not getting Ivan Toney. Like we're just too scared to pay the full price of any player.
It's a bit weird though. They talk about the attitude problems. We're not going to sign Ivan Toney. Oh, we're going to get rid of Aubameyang. I'm sorry, does Raheem Sterling not have attitude problems as well? As depicted by every club that he's played for.
But he played for Chelsea, so that's why he qualifies to be an Arsenal player.
That's true. That's true.
I didn't want to say that you guys, like to play, like to buy players from Chelsea, but you went there. The list is long.
Yeah, it is what it is.
The Arsenal care home. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Arsenal care home.
It goes back to Gallas, doesn't it? What about Gallas?
Yeah.
Can I say something about
Liverpool? Sorry, go ahead.
Have you just wants to talk about Super Duper Mick, right? I mean, it's on this new deal. I'm going to say Super Duper Mick, yeah. But the thing is, right? You think about it, right? I'm not being funny. He's been at the club since 2019, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
One trophy. Everton Hag has won more trophies than this guy. And this guy has spent close to £1 billion, right? One trophy, yeah. Let's put it this way: Arteta bottled the league 2 years ago. I don't care what anyone say. He bottled the league. Yeah. Now, Eddie Howe did have with Newcastle the way Arteta's did. I would say exactly the same thing. Yeah, let's be real. Yeah, and then is this manager going to get Arsenal over the line by winning the title? In my honest opinion, I don't think he will. He won't because I just don't think he's got it in him.
He's got no plan B, John. That's for sure. You've seen that in games. You've seen that in games. I remember, a couple of years back when they went to, to St James's, and I think he was smashing them 3-0, and Arteta was just standing there like a statue. It was the coaches. It was the coaches that kind of sorted the team out. He just kind of
Right, didn't have a clue, did he?
You're the manager, and you're just kind of don't know, man.
The thing is, right, I mean, look, there's world-class managers out there for Arsenal. I'm thinking Diego Simeone, right? He should be on the list. Simone Inzaghi should be on the list. Yeah,
that's my choice. That's my choice. If Arteta does leave, he's the one I want.
It's Simone. It's Diego
Simone Inzaghi, from Inter.
Inzaghi. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll take Inzaghi. My favorite would be if they're going to play Eddie Howe, right? For me, it'd be if it's not going to be Simeone, cool, that's fine. I'll go with Simone Inzaghi, right? It'd be my second choice. Or I'll get Roberto Mancini. So out of the three, realistically, for me, if Eddie does leave, right, in the future, and they would have got to step up, you give us Simone Inzaghi all day long. We're not going to get Simeone because he's the highest paid manager in the world. Can't speak a word of English, but Simone Inzaghi can. So you give us Simone Inzaghi, rock up, I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but John, you haven't got to worry. Bielsa's, translate. He's out of a job at the moment. You could take him on if you want to. Will you take
is he a real guy? Is that your guy?
Yeah.
So,
but, Bosch Bertie, I'll give you with Arteta, I'll give you 12 million reasons why he's not going to leave. Yeah, 12 million.
Exactly. That's the problem. And this is the thing. I mean, people love Arteta. Yeah. All it is, Ravi said, is a Spanish Brendan Rodgers. But for me, I
Who?
tell you what, if Arteta, I wouldn't have Arteta as the Newcastle manager. I would not have Arteta.
I don't blame you.
Who's the Spanish Brendan Rodgers?
According to
Super
Ravi,
duper Mick.
Ben Rodgers, Super Duper Mick.
Or Mikel Arteta?
Yeah.
Super Duper
Or
Mick.
tapas pulis.
Yeah.
There's a question here for FANZ, you know. Thoughts
Taps,
on
taps.
the rebuild of Old Trafford where they play in the means time, where they play in the means. Because just once having a
meantime.
yeah, because once having a rebuild of Old Trafford and they're going to fix the roof, aren't they?
Well, I mean, fix the roof as a temporary thing. I think the bigger plan is just build a whole new stadium. I mean, they've opened the conversations with all the local committees and the government. So I think the planning is like they've got the ball rolling with the planning side of things and actually making things concrete and official. Once they've got the green light from them, they'll probably then start the building for it. Where we'd play in the meantime is still play at Old Trafford because it's going to be just up the road, slightly northwest slightly further up Trafford Quays or something, and they'll turn most of that area into a bit more like a sports park area or something. Sort of invest a little bit into the local area. So I think it's not just looked as a Manchester United, like solely Manchester United project. I think it's just they're trying to tie it into being a big Manchester product or project with the sporting side of things. But I think whilst any building is going on for that stadium, it's I think they'll still use Old Trafford, and I think what they'll probably do after the team move into the new stadium is they'll downgrade or downsize Old Trafford Stadium, so it's I think a lower capacity venue, but it's still usable. I think they'll probably let the academy and women's team play as that as their home ground, whilst then I think the men's team, as well as then maybe other sporting franchises, could use the venue. Maybe the club can make some or take some proceeds from that into club accounts. What I hope they don't do is do what Tottenham did with their stadium and basically give it to the ownership groups and then have the club rent it from them so that the club accounts pay the ownership to actually play there. And then if they decide tomorrow, you know what, cancel the rent for the home team, they can't play there anymore. It's messed up, but I hope it's nothing like that sort of business model, and that it's one that is a stadium owned by the club, but also has ownership with the local committee as well, or the local council, and that both together it's like it's not just relying on Glazeonomics to try and upkeep the maintenance of the stadium. You've actually got the local council, if upon request by the local residency, they can also have work done on the venue to keep it up to date.
Interesting. Anybody else got anything to say about it?
No, I mean, the only thing I could say is very similar, like as you said, with the council, you've got to think Forest have just come to an agreement with their council, so they actually own the land on where the ground sits. So now they can do what they want to do with it. Look at Coventry. Coventry had that same situation, didn't they, with the council and that, and they nearly got turfed off their own ground at that point as well. And if you look at the place behind me, we pay £4 million a year for that.
Is that?
Wow.
Thanks to Mr. Hearn and to Mr. Levy. That's the reason why we only pay rent for that place rather than actually own it and redevelop it, which we was going to do.
John, let me ask you. How did Man United let it get so bad at Old Trafford? Do you know what I mean? How did they let it go so bad?
Well, the thing is, right, it's down to, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's down to the Glaziers, mate. It's down to the Glaziers, you know what I mean? People's going to blame Ten Hag, but the bottom line is, right, I'm not going to lie, but, well, if I was a Man U fan, right, I'd probably back my manager. But the Glazier's the problem, and everyone knows that, yeah. And they have spent so much money, 1.6 billion quid, and they still kind of get a trophy. They still kind of win a title. Well, they beat us, by the way, in the Carling Cup. That's about it. But in the FA Cup. But the club is in an absolute mess in a minute. I mean, I think, and I'm sorry to say this, Fuzz, right? But I think United getting players that the team don't want. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the problem. Do you know what I mean? Casemiro paying 60 mil for this guy plus an extra 10 on top. I'm sorry, but Real Madrid do not get rid of them and get rid of players that they deem not good enough anymore, do you know? But I just think it's the whole setup. I mean, Dan Asher's just come in, right? He won't last long. He'll be gone after a couple of years. That's what he'll do. Yeah, but I just think that it needs the roof needs fixing first start, number 1. 2.
And jacuzzi.
Exactly. Yeah. And what's his name? I mean, Ten Hag, I mean, to be fair, I don't know what style of football he plays. I don't get it. Yeah. It's too defensive, can be a bit cautious at times. If you look at the United players they've got a full array attacking players there. Yeah. Marcus Rashford is a big problem. Yeah. Does he want to be at United anymore? Because when he plays, he doesn't look interested. Yeah. I mean, Garnacho, I'm not going to be jumping for joy for this guy yet. Garnacho, yeah. You know? But I've seen a couple of videos, right, saying that he ended up playing for Elche or Cadiz in a couple of years' time. They think he's not good enough, but I think, to me, he's get there. Do you rate him first? Do you rate Garnacho? Do you rate the guy?
I appreciate that. He's probably the best option we've actually got for the left wing. But when people say, oh, my God, this guy, generational talent, sorry. No, not yet. No, not yet. If you want to talk generational talent, I mean, Mason Greenwood was generational talent, and he's doing the business in Ligue 1. Sorry, he's doing the business.
Yeah. You know what it is. Sorry to cut you for what Fuzz. I actually rated Mason Greenwood. I thought he was a problem. He was a problem. If you got him running at you, it's all over. Do you know what I mean? Another player that I've always rated from Man United is Rashford. I've always rated him. I just think there's something special there, and I just think like every player has their dip. You know what I mean? Dip in form when things are not going too well for them, and they may need to find another club. Do you know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. But I don't think at the end of the day it's any diminish of the player himself. So I think he's an amazing player. I just think at the day, right, Rashford needs a new challenge. I think he needs a new challenge. I think he needs to go somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? Go somewhere else, and he'll make it. If he went to sort of Spain, Portugal, or even Italy or Germany, imagine him at Dortmund. He would just he'd be so good at Dortmund. Do you know what I mean? So I just think he probably needs another challenge. Do you know what I mean? You know? You know, so, but I rate the player. There's a question here for me, actually. Question for Roz. Do you feel Slot knows the strength and the weaknesses of his team as to when he makes his selection for games? It's very hard to tell at the moment because he's just come in. You know what I mean? He's just come into the sort of the club. Do you know what I mean? He's had 3 good victories: Ipswich, Brentford, and Man United. He's had 3 good ones, and he's played reasonably good. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a bit too early to say that whether he knows the strength and weaknesses. He probably has got a good idea. Do you know what I mean? But I just think it's a bit too early to sort of for that assessment to be made. Don't you think, Famar?
When it comes to Slot, to be honest, it is too early. I agree with you on that. But Slot is a very intelligent tactician. And he showed us that. First, the way how he dealt with the Manchester United game, exploiting their weakness. By the way, Man United and Liverpool, they play the same formation and almost the same shape as well. A little bit different instructions for some of the players, especially for the wings. For Man United, he just sent them down the wing and up high. But where for Liverpool, if you saw that Robertson was sitting back a little bit, and Trent every now and then he would get involved with the attack. So, and both of them came from the Dutch school, right? So it's a very similar football style, by the way. But him sending the wings down the line a little bit higher, Slot right away picked on that and um, tried to exploit that. Another thing we noticed that Arnold at the first game he was inverting a little bit. Is that my mic?
No, I think it's Anton's.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So anyway, when it comes to Arnold, in the first game he was inverted in a little bit, and in the second half or in the break, um, Slot instructed Arnold not to invert in, but to come closer, so you can get the ball a little bit faster. You have a little bit more time on the ball, and you'll be able to whip these long passes up front. Another thing that you see, what he did with Gravenberch. So is the first two games, Gravenberch was sitting back a little bit, but in the Man United game, he was way more involved in the attack. So to sum all of this is Slot has a high capability of adapting to different teams, to different opponents, different type of playing, and he's looking at the tools that he have in hand, and he's utilizing them to the best of their abilities and to the best of plan that he can put them together. It is too early to judge him, but I think he is a really intelligent tactician. You also notice that in his media conferences and in his media interviews. Right away, he jumps in and talk about tactics. Sometimes a little bit too much, to be honest.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Sometimes a little bit too much, and he's letting some of his secrets out. Right? You got to be a little bit gray when you talk about your tactics and how you exploit the other teams. But I think we're going to see more and more from him as time comes, as the team develop, we go in a little bit deeper in the Premier League.
Okay. We have got Antos Pantos in the building. How you doing, Anton? Can you hear me?
He's on a plane. He's on his private jet.
This sounds like a dirty call. It sounds like a dirty call with just heavy breathing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Either that or he's talking out the roof thing of like a saloon car, and he's racing down the M25 or something. It's just like, oh guys, I'm just trying to talk to you, but the wind is really blowing in my face. I've got you can hear me.
So Posh Bay, what's your thoughts on that, Posh Bay?
On Slot.
Yes, this one here, this one here.
I think 3 games in, he's doing very well for Liverpool. Obviously, brilliant win against Man United to make it 3 wins in a row so far for Liverpool. And yeah, you're doing well under him. I know obviously it's 3 games in. There's still a long way to go, but I think you should be pleased with how he's doing at the moment in the early stages.
Yeah, it's definitely food for thought. So Famar, there's came out over the last couple of days that apparently Liverpool offered 168 million for Mbappe, and well, obviously he chose not to come. He wanted to go to Real Madrid instead. What's your thoughts on all that? This Mbappe saga.
Well, from a Liverpool perspective, you always got to try. Some players they come with how can I say it, with a big brand with them. So any club, any business would try their best to gain from going after players like Mbappe. I think his market value is way higher than his transfer market value, if that makes sense. So his business market value or his brand market value is maybe $1 billion. I don't know, right? His transfer market value is maybe like in the 150 million. So a club going after Mbappe and offering 166 million, comparing to his brand value, it's nothing. It's probably 10% of his brand value,
Mm.
right? When it comes to commercials, to jerseys, to fans around the world and whatnot. Um, the interesting thing is that this is coming out 2 years later, right? I kind of like that. And the reason why, because it was not a successful transfer. Otherwise, we would have seen Mbappe, like in Anfield. And to be honest, my opinion, I wouldn't want to see Mbappe in Anfield. I don't see him as a Liverpool player. I'm not saying is not a good player, but I just don't see him fit in Liverpool playing style. You know, and also I don't see him as a Liverpool player because his idol is Cristiano Ronaldo. His destination is Real Madrid. It's written in the stars. It's written in the stones. I guess we lost Rods.
No,
Yeah.
he's doing-
Dropped out.
But- Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, it's written in the stars. It's written in stone for him. It's written in his mind that he want to go to Real Madrid. Even if Liverpool or any other team, even City, if they came to him and they offered him, not just even PSG, they offered him 100 million. I don't think Mbappe would have gone.
drag
Yeah,
your
I
heads
don't
up.
believe he's.
His heart
I
was
don't-
set
I
in
think
Madrid,
it
wasn't it? His heart was
depends
set in
what
Madrid.
the source was for having Mbappe going to Liverpool, because I don't really believe in any of those kinds of things.
Yeah, I don't believe in Liverpool putting anywhere near that sort of figure on a table for a single player not at the moment anyway, because I still think they're sort of, well, if the release clause, like big transfer fees at the moment, they seem to sort of like steer towards paying release clause when it comes to doing bigger transfer fees, but actually negotiating and bidding and getting like good value for players. I mean, they haven't really done that since Michael Edwards was in charge of that department, when they were signing like the Mohamed Salahs, the Sadio Manes and whatnot. But yeah, at the moment they do look a bit sort of toothless or without that much of an idea in how to approach picking out the targets and properly going in and negotiating and trying to do some good deals that are worthwhile for Liverpool and actually set up the team very well, and to be properly competitive for the next 5 to 10 years. So I think
Well, yeah. But see, one thing about Liverpool, like that news came out just lately, right? Like the past few days. But the actual action happened 2 years ago.
Mm.
So that tells you that the business model of Liverpool, how they deal with the transfer market, is different. It's very secretive. They might be, like doing deals already behind the scenes, and nobody knows about it because they believe that nobody needs to know about it until it's it's true, right? Like if the transfer happened or if they're trying to build some publicity around that transfer, then they will disclose that and you will hear about it, just like what happened with Zubimendi, right? But the business model that Liverpool take is being very secretive. So such news like coming out after 2 years, wow, shit, man, I couldn't keep a secret for 2 years, right?
I wouldn't know why Liverpool would want to do business like go around being secretive if it's, say, going to be a bit more costly in terms of short term or addressing problems short term. Because if that's their chosen direction or model, then that cause issues if things don't go according to plan today in the present, because then that might adjust your plans further down the line. So if there's a big deal like you're working on behind the deals, getting the cogs turning in motion, then something goes horrendously wrong or AWOL or goes awry, you're thinking, well, that can't be target number one now. We've got to go look at this deal instead. I think for me, Liverpool this summer looks like they didn't have that much of an idea as to how to kickstart Arne Slot's reign at Liverpool. They were stalling, and Arne Slot was constantly, I'm just getting to know my squad, I don't know many big projects at big clubs that start off with a manager saying, well, for the first 2 months or so of a 3-month transfer window, I'm going to assess my squad. And then in the last month, that's when we'll start to think about getting some deals in, but only really sign one player. I'd be quite underwhelmed with that. And I'd be thinking, with this planning for next summer, what FSG have seemingly like to do is put it out there to the fans that the big plans are for future transfer windows and have been for the next transfer windows for the past 3 to 5 years. But when you get to those windows, it doesn't actually happen on the scale they always say it would. It's like, I think what they've said is that they'll under promise to over deliver. I think that's in their words.
Yeah.
So I do feel like this summer they probably promised a lot in the build up to this summer, but Federico Chiesa for a new project for Arne Slot, I probably would have said at least another 3-4 signings to really sort of put the foot down and say, here we go, Arne Slot era.
Famous, do me a favor. Can you take on for about 5 minutes? I'll be back.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'll just answer some of the points that you say, and we can go to one of the other clubs. I don't want to keep the show, the whole show about Liverpool, But first of all, Liverpool club did not promise a lot to begin with. A lot of people thought that a lot of Liverpool fans and even football fans thought that Liverpool promised a lot of transfer and a lot of movement. Slot, when he came to the club, he took over in June. So that whole month, he didn't have any of the first 11. They were all in vacations or playing international games, and they were not at his disposal. So when he was assessing in June, that whole month, it was basically the younger players and the academy players. July, we had the preseason, the 3 preseason games. That's when the first 11 start coming, and not all of them came right away. Some of them start coming, like Szoboszlai, I think Szoboszlai, Salah, not all of them. So he didn't have enough time actually to see his first 11. That's something that a lot of people didn't notice, right? Come along August, that's the start of the Premier League. He only had 3 preseason games, with one of them with his first 11, with the full squad. So that is not enough for any coach to assess his squad. And to be honest, I kind of like it that he's taken his time to understand the players that he has, right? It is a system that kind of worked for us. These players have been playing for us for the past few seasons, and there is a stability in the squad, stability in the dressing room. So why would you change that, right? If you start doing 3-4 transfers, that's going to kind of bother the stability that you have in the dressing room and disrupt the stability in the squad, right? Liverpool are very secretive when it comes to their transfer business. That's for them to protect themselves, to protect actually even the fans. A lot of people don't realize that. To protect the players that they are discussing with them, and to protect the second and third and fourth choice players, so they don't feel bad. Oh, I am your fourth choice, right? If they disclose everything, their third or fourth choice player, they're going to say, oh, I guess you don't value me as much, right? So I'm going to freaking name my price. But when they deal with each player, they actually take off the pressure off of themselves, off of the fans, and off of the player himself. Right? There is no media pressure on him. It's only his decision, his club, and his family, and that's it. There's no media getting involved in that, and all of us know how the media can be very negative when it comes to any sniffing any transfer news, right? But yeah, go ahead, John. You wanted to say something?
No, I think you're absolutely right about Liverpool. Like, you know what I mean? They're not spending a lot this season. Like, I mean, you talked about Arne Slot coming in. And, you know, I think he's doing all right in a minute. Like, you know what I mean? He's giving every players a chance. And I think he's going to push them close this season. I really do think that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I know Liverpool fans are going to be disappointed they haven't spent a lot of money. But why? They got quality players there. Do you know what I mean? They got Mo Salah there. They got Jota there when he's fit. You got Luis Diaz. He stayed, didn't he, for another season, like, you know. And they've got some cracking players coming through as well. Bradley's coming through as well. And I know Bobby Clark's gone to Salzburg as well, which is a shame for them. But when you look at it, right, I mean, they still got quality players, but they do need a centre-back for Virgil van Dijk next season. I really do think they need a centre-back. And I think they're going to come close this season, Liverpool. They're going to get top 3, but where they're going to finish in the top 3, got no idea. But if Slot gets a chance, then I tell you one thing: this guy can take Liverpool places. And then I know Jurgen Klopp's is hard to follow because Jurgen has been fantastic. What he's done at the football club is absolutely incredible in his 9-year stay. I think Arne Slot's going to do bits in Liverpool. I really do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about we do this?
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back.
Uncle Rod, I was going to ask each one of the panel to maybe give us a prediction of their own club next. You know, a little bit brief about why they think of that prediction. Anyone who want to start?
No, what I was going to do that last.
Yeah.
That's going to be the last.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
I just want to touch on Newcastle before I do that.
Sure.
The future of Newcastle, John. What we saying, my friend? Future of Newcastle.
Well, if Eddie and Paul Mitchell settle their differences between them, right, then I think the future would be bright. But it'd be very interesting. But one thing I'm going to say, right, before going to those two, Darren Eales, right, don't go and stack and, you know, whip out to the fans. Get our club in order first, and then you do what you have to do. Yeah. You don't see Daniel Levy going into blimmin' one of the pubs in Tottenham. You don't see the Conkies going to the pubs and clubs in Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? But for me, he's the one to blame as well because he promised us it's going to be an active transfer window. Yeah. And we just couldn't get the 2 key players he needed over the line. But in January, that needs to be selected very, very quickly. It doesn't matter who comes in, right? Gay, I don't think, I'm not going to be funny, but I don't think we should be going off doing this at Crystal Palace ever again after the way they treated us, yeah? But just move on for that one. But now we've got Sandro Tonali back. I hope he starts on Sunday, but I just don't know if he's going to do it. If Eddie's going to play him, you know what I mean? But he's going to stick at 36. By the way, that's Longstaff, by the way. I would be surprised if Eddie played him, yeah? But if we don't get any more injuries like we did last season, right? Because last season, as well documented, it was horrendous last season. 13 to 15 players got injured, yeah? Between October and February. That's absolutely horrendous, yeah? That's why he didn't get top 4. If we have an injury-free season, Sandro Tonali doing this thing, Joe Willock is coming back doing this thing, right? Sven Botman yet to come back around December time, and Isak plays the whole 38 games. If we have an injury-free season, I can see us finishing 5th, and I think that's the best you can do, 5th or 6th, because what we got to do to get top 4, we got to beat the top teams about 4 times this season, yeah. And we got Man City coming up 2 weeks on Saturday. Now, I know we're waffling on, do you know what I mean? But I don't want fans come up to us and say, "Oh, Man City are a world-class team, we're a world-class team, blah, blah, blah." Yeah, we're not a world-class team, but find a way to beat them, because at the end of the day, it's getting a myth. It's getting a myth now, yeah? We know how good Man City are. Find a way of beating them, yeah? Because most teams can beat them. I don't want my team sitting back. I want to have a go at them. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, right, let's have a go at them and get the 3 points, yeah? Because I want to win games. That's just the thing. But for me, I'm going to say, I go getting early. I'm going to say 5th if we have an injury-free season.
Cool. Question here for Early Doors. Question for Early Doors. How do West Ham win the next trophy?
Attack. No, I mean, basically...
Bring back Declan.
Yeah, bring back Declan. I think if you look at the good thing now is that, you know, Alvarez is virtually kind of fully fit. So him and Guido can now, pair up into that defensive midfield area, which hopefully allows Paqueta to move on. I mean, actually, Fulkrug apparently is supposed to have taken a knock, so we may not have him for the Saturday game. But if you look at it, we can also have the chance of playing Somerville out on the left, putting Kudos or even Bowen up top. So we've got options. So if you look at, I think that's the good thing about it. With our transfer window, we've brought in, what's it now, nearly 10 players, and we've covered areas which we needed to cover. Tadebo's still got to get a full game under his belt as well. So, yeah, I think if you look at it, Lopetegui, we're still trying to see his style of play at the moment. But I think once he gets it on track, then I think, with what we've bought during this transfer window, for me, it's European, getting back into Europe and a cup. So I think, that's the way we're going to move forward, Ravi.
Cool. There's another question here. Question for Posh Bertie. What happens if you lose to Spurs and City win their game? You will be 5 points behind. How can you get back from that?
Well, this is why I said drawing to Brighton was 2 points lost rather than a point gained, because of our next two games, away to Tottenham and away to Man City. Of course, the Tottenham game will be very tough. We don't have Odegaard. We don't have Rice. We possibly don't have Calafiori, but I don't think he was going to probably start anyway. It's going to be very tough especially if we lose to Tottenham. It'll be an uphill battle to climb up. But I think our fans will probably just blame the ref again.
Yeah, it was one of them ones. So, guys, what we're going to do now, we're going to talk about, obviously, the prediction time. We're going to go for some predictions of each of our teams' respective opponents this weekend. So, I will start off to my right. I'll start with Hot Fuzz. Man United and Southampton. You're away, Adam, isn't it? You're away to Southampton? Yeah. Right. How do you see that going?
I'd say that as much as it's all completely doom and gloom, that everyone's probably putting us down or writing us off at every single game until the end of time. I do think Man United probably are in a position where we can actually say, well, for this game, perhaps the quality is enough to see you through to a positive result. Not that Southampton will make things all that easy, but it's not the sort of game that a Ten Hag United would go and win really, really comfortably. I don't think any game Manchester United under Ten Hag will win comfortably in any case on any day. For me, Southampton will keep it competitive. We probably won't do much in the goal scoring department. A couple of goals here or there, and that's pretty much as good as it's going to get. I think 2-1 is a score that I've stuck with, which I say to United, it could, dependent on what sort of team shows up or what Ten Hag decides to do with his starting 11, could be a 2-1 to Southampton as well. And I think that's where the focus is at the moment, being United fans. We look at the manager, it's like, okay, then Eric, what are you going to do? What are you going to do this week? Is it going to be the team that sets us up for victory? Is it the team that sets us up for failure? Because it does really do, wonders when the manager actually picks the best choice of starting 11 that the fans say that is the best team, and he picks it, and then he manages to game well with it. But then when he picks the wrong team, the game plans just go out the window because it's not a team that's set up to actually beat opposition, or the opposition know where the weaknesses are, but our manager for some reason can't. So there's a reason why Slot can break down Ten Hag's weaknesses in 90 seconds. It'll probably take every other manager in the league around about the same time. Maybe some might think quicker, some might take a little bit longer, but everybody can recognise the weakness in the Ten Hag team. It's no different from the Southampton manager. So again, depends what United team shows up, depends on what the manager chooses for a starting 11, how he handles the game, and matters very much and how badly the team want to win, and if that midfield is going to have a solid spine to it. No solidarity in midfield. Doesn't matter what defense we've got, we'll get beaten by everybody.
What's the score prediction?
2-1 to United.
2-9. Okay. Before I go to Posh Bertie, let me just read out some messages. Yes, Fuzzy War, man. It's a good friend of mine. He runs LRFC channel. I'm usually on there as well. We did some bits. A very good friend of mine. So please go over and like and subscribe to LRFC forever. That channel, go subscribe to that.
There you go, Fuzzy.
Fuzzy's good friend of mine. Big up, Fuzzy.
Big up, Fuzzy.
Big up, Fuzzy. Take care.
Big up, Fuzzy in the building. Fuzzy says, great panel on tonight. Yes, songs. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Means a lot. Ravi, my bro, killing it. You never walk it alone. Big up. And then Casemiro. Ravi said Casemiro looking like.
Christ.
That's it. Love it.
Oh man, I couldn't even read it. That one got me, Tony. Asa, big up. Don't forget to hit the like button, Asa. Subscribe if you haven't not subscribed. Andy Murray, Fuzzy, Andy Murray, it's not bad. There's no need for that.
Why do you keep getting compared to Andy Murray? I look absolutely nothing like him.
I know, innit? That's the thing about it. Yeah. Posh Bertie, your turn.
For the Arsenal match.
Yeah. Basically, to talk about the Arsenal match, your opponents and that, and give me a score prediction at the end of it.
Oh, it's hard to tell because, as I mentioned, we've got key players injured, but we can easily exploit Tottenham's higher line if we have our fast players on the attack. But I don't know, with the key players missing, I think it's advantage Spurs, but I don't want us to lose to them lot. But it's going to be tough with those players missing. I'll sit on the fence. I'll say 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
Okay, John. What say you?
Yeah, we got Wolves on Sunday. It should be a winnable game. I'm going to take a 2-0 win for Newcastle. I think, 2-0 win to Newcastle. I mean, what happened last week, I just hope Mitchell and Howe just sort things out. And Isak scored last week, which I'm very, very pleased he's done. But if Tonali plays, then he'll dictate the game. But I've got a feeling he's going to play 36. And I tell you something now, I mean, we need to win games like this if we are to get top 4, top 5 this season, because Wolves are not started well.
But they brought in a couple of players at the day. Then when they brought in that fella from Fluminense.
Fluminense, Andre.
Yeah. So don't you think they can give you some trouble?
Well, it's going to be his first game of the season. I mean, in the Premier League, I think he is a damn good player. When he plays the ball out from the back and he gets involved with it, he's a bit risky, but he gets away with it. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a baptism of fire for Andrew. If he comes to the Premier League, I think Wolves got a superstar there because he's a really good player. He's Luminense's best player by a country mile. But we have got to start well. We've got to play our game and we got to defend properly because, like I said earlier, right, we've not been playing well. We're not been playing well. It's just paper over the cracks in the minute with 7 points, We were lucky against Southampton. We were lucky against Bournemouth. And we were lucky against Tottenham. If Spurs had Solanke up top, I'll tell you something now, we would have lost that game big time. But they've got to be defending properly. Shah's coming back in from a fee game after a fee game ban. And Joe Willock is going to hopefully get some game time, hopefully.
You see, now, even Fonzie says, right, Sandro Tonali will being back would help them.
Yeah, I think tonight's going to be so key for us. You know what I mean? If Eddie Howe sees sense, please play him. You know what I mean? I know Sean Longstaff defies opinion. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but you can't put 36 into tonight's class. You just can't. But saying that, if you are to win this game, play tonight. He's played two 90-minute games, right? And he came through really well, right? Man on the match on both games, apparently, right? And just get him in. Get him in. He's raring to go. And we're going to do bits.
You got a good player. But it'd be a shame not to play him. Literally be a shame not to play him.
Exactly. I totally agree. It's like a new signing. Do you know what I mean? But if he was to take the game, and this is a perfect game for him against Wolves, I'd rather play Tonali in Wolves and Fulham, whack him against Man City at this stage. But the thing is, though, I mean, Eddie knows he's got to get it right. I love Eddie to bits, but he knows he's got to get it right this season. He's got to get us some European football this season, or I'll be word for him for the first time. And do you know what? See what happens this season.
Yeah, facts. Tony, let's talk about who West Ham got this weekend.
Fulham.
Ooh, that could be a good game. Yeah,
it is going to be a good game.
Yeah, the floor is yours, Tony. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I think it's Fulham have bought players. We've bought players. Fulham are more established with what they've bought in, whereas when you look at with West Ham, we've virtually bought a new team. So when you look at that, there's a lot of adjustment from Lopetegui. And the one thing I hate seeing at the moment is the case of lose a game, win a game, lose a game. Don't want to be don't want that flip flopping all the way through. Yeah. You want to see consistency. You want to see kind of more. And I know he's not given, like I say, Somerville's not been given much of a chance at the moment. Tadebo's not been given a chance. Kilman seems to be settling in quite nicely at the moment. He's possibly going to go with Guido Rodriguez again in defensive mid. I think it'd be more Alvarez, I'd say, than him. I'd rather have that change. But like I said, if he's going to stick with Antonio, which it seems to be the case, if you want to go out and do something, make the change. Kudos or Bowen, put them up there, like I mentioned earlier. We've got attacking options in. I don't think Falkirk's going to be ready for the game. It all depends who we're going to have in goal as well, because obviously Areola was had the knock against when we played against City. So is he going to stay with Fabianski, or is Areola recovered in time for this game? But for me, I'm seeing it as a 1-1 draw. I think they're just going to cancel each other out. I think it'd be like you guys just said there. It looks like it should be a good game on paper. But yeah, I just want to see a bit more of attacking flair from West Ham.
Yeah.
From Lopetegui. We've considering these are the players he wanted to bring in. So give them a chance. Let's see what they can actually do. Yeah. And that's what we're looking for, really.
I think he's a good manager. I think he will do well for you, but with every manager, there's a bedding in process, isn't there? There's always a bedding in process. Do you know what I mean? You can peak quite quick, but then it might take you longer to peak. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's one of them ones. Do you know what I mean? And I think Lopetegui is a good manager. And I think once he gets it right, he gets it right. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like I said, it's just the fact of all these players we've brought in. With he's got also kind of get them to blend in with the team as well. So once we start seeing that, then hopefully we will start seeing that consistency.
Is that Gamesh, isn't it? Yeah, Gamesh, Joe Linton, and Tonali to be in the midfield for me. That's your midfield, you know. That's your midfield.
That's just our midfield for the future. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I know people. The trouble is, right, with our fan base, right? I mean, they think Sean Lonsdale's the best thing since sliced bread. I don't really rate the guy. Do you know what I mean? Listen, people say people say he's a local lad, and also said as well that he
that's
works
why they love
out
him
the
so
team.
much.
That is the problem. But you don't pick a player by the birth certificate. You pick the player on form. Yeah?
It's the same reason. It's the same reason as to why back last season when some Arsenal fans wanted to see Ramsdale in goal over Raya because he's a good old English geezer. That's essentially the reason why they wanted him to start. And I'm like, come on. Again,
you know what, Posh Bird? You know what, Posh Bird? It's all got Crossy, John. To be fair, actually, I actually rated Ramsdale.
He's a good goalkeeper, but I think the way we play, Raya has better distribution.
Yes.
Ramsdale's a better saver, but on his feet, he wasn't that good, and he made a few mistakes involving that in that particular section that cost us a few.
Where's he gone now then?
Southampton.
Okay. Yeah, Lallana's gone back there as well, isn't he? Lallana's gone back to Southampton.
I think so.
Yeah, he's left Brighton and gone back to Southampton. Do you know what I mean? What's it? That's midfield. Fuzzy also said West Ham have a good team, in my opinion. They just need time to get.
They do.
Joe.
And I'm sure Fuzzy's he's a New End boy, if I remember rightly. And he's
he's done that.
Yeah, he's a New End boy. Yeah, you know. So same as me, I'm a New End boy as well, kind of thing. So big up to the New End people. You know.
There you go, mate. There you go, fella. He's from that side there still. But I mean, that's always going to be the case with West Ham, where they brought in so much players. It's not going to work straight away. It's going to be a bedding in process. Yeah, and plus the manager is new as well, so you have to give him time. You know what I mean, to sort of like implement his way he wants to play football. Do you know what I mean? And the best he wants to get the players. Do you know what I mean? You know,
yeah, I think
it's good manager.
I think the good thing about it, West Ham fans are not kind of got in his case at the moment. I think they're still in shock that David Sullivan's opened up his wallet and bought all these players. So I think we're still at that point. I think once that's
you're welcome for that. All the Declan Rice money.
Well, don't forget, Posh Bertie, you paid on Klarna for Rice. Yeah, you didn't pay a full whack. You paid on Klarna.
I thought it was Apple Pay.
Apple Pay,
no, you can't rely on Apple Pay either. That's just as bad. But no, it's I mean, I wish Declan all the best at the end of the day. He did well for us, and I'm sure he's going to do well for you guys as well.
Yeah, true. Famar, Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. Liverpool back at home again against Nottingham Forest. And you know what? Actually, I was actually looking at Nottingham Forest, and looking at Nottingham Forest history. They've got a rich history, you know. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Back-to-back European Cups,
2 European Cups, yeah.
Yeah, and they won it in a time when sort of like Liverpool was dominant. You know what I mean? Like Bob Paisley was dominant at that time and winning leagues and obviously winning FA Cups, European Cups and stuff, yeah. But they won it back-to-back. They also, like Brian Clough, previously took Derby County to a bloody European Cup final. Do you know what I mean? You know, it just... Nottingham Forest were a good team back in the day. Do you know what I mean? It was a shame they dropped out. You know, obviously with the Premier League for so long, it was a shame. Do you know what I mean? But now they're back in it. Now, to me, and I want good things for them. Not too much good things because we're playing them this weekend. Do you know what I mean? So But your thoughts on Liverpool playing at Nottingham Forest? Your thoughts on Nottingham Forest and the game, and your prediction, please. Oh. I didn't get the prediction from you, Eddie Dawes, for your game. Didn't get your prediction.
1-1.
1-1. And John, 1-1 as well, yeah?
Is that Liverpool Forest?
No. Your game.
2-0 Newcastle.
2-0. Cool. Famar, your floor's yours.
Yeah, for sure, man. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Um, and the reason why I say this is the South American players. They just came back. I think
Man,
yesterday.
them.
Definitely. So the South American players they just probably start joining their clubs either between yesterday and today. Big jet lag. And when I say that, that means Luis Diaz, McAllister, Allison. Are they going to play? Is Slot going to rest them? That's going to be one of the big questions, right? Especially McAllister. He did picked up a knock, I guess, in the first game, but then they assessed him and he was fine. So it's going to depend also like on the lineup. Nottingham Forest, I genuinely rate Gibbs and Sangare really high, and Gibbs can be really dangerous. It's one of the players that I wish I could see in Liverpool at some point and someday. But now we got six up front. So we got our first three and our backup three. So I don't think there is any space for him. But Sangare is another player that I really rate high for Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest they tend to like to play, especially if they play with bigger teams like Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Newcastle. They like to play on the counter attack. So that's going to be a second test for slot tactics, facing a team that depends on counter attacks, that they shut down, they close down, and they try to hit you in the counter attack. We did win against them the last three games, I would say, that we've met them. So I don't see us having a lot of trouble. We do gonna have some trouble, especially with Gibbs White. Chris Wood is too slow for me, and he's a target man. I think either Van Dyke or Konate, one of them, will just be his shadow, and that's it, and eliminate his danger. But that's going to open spaces for Gibbs. My prediction: I think we're going to get a 3-0. We're going to continue winning. Hopefully, McAllister is fine and Luis Diaz play. If Jota, if we want to rest Jota, maybe we should see either Chiesa or maybe start Nunes.
Yeah. Good
It'll
shot.
be a not bad game to start, like give Nunes some more minutes.
Good shot. There's a question here for Hot Fuzz from Fuzzy. He said, "Hot Fuzz, are you willing to start again for Man United to come back to where you was?" In other words, because we had a conversation and we did, Nuruddin, he does a lot of stuff with Saeed. Do you know what I mean? A lot of stuff with him. And, you know, it was a really good conversation. I suggest you guys go back and watch that. It's really good. And he said at the end of the day, he's willing for Man United to get relegated in order for them to come back good again. Do you know what I mean? He's willing to take the hit. So I think that's what sort of like Fuzz is asking you. Are you willing to take the hit for sort of like Man United to come back better and stronger?
If it's the knowledge in like a hindsight thing that's what Man United would become, like actually go right to the very top of football again by going through the hardship route, then I'd probably say yeah. I'd say with short-term pain for the sake of long-term gain, but to actually find an identity for the club again and actually give reason to supporters as to why you'd support this club. It makes a lot of sense to do that because it does test a lot of fans' loyalties doing that. But at the same time, you do things in a way where it's like, you know that it's going to come good at some point. You know it's going to happen for you. It's genuine. It brings you closer, like in connection to your club. It brings you closer to your club. And I just feel like if it means your relegation, you're taking the big hit, and if it meant that people like the Glazers were to relinquish all control of the club, it would essentially show itself to being more of a football club again, rather than a commercial asset for some rich people that come from the States. For me, it just feels like you go through the journey and it renews a belief and a support in the club, and you build everything up in a new Manchester United image that's genuine, and is football orientated, is football centric. So yeah, for me, I would take the hit if it meant that Manchester United would rediscover the sense of being a football club, a football institution, and the club recognizing exactly what it is and not pretending to be something it's not.
Yeah, spot on, mate. He said spot on. Spending isn't working, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's spot on. Spot on. Okay, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. It's been great. It's been really great, and we'll do this all next week again. Do you know what I mean? And we'll have a lot more to talk about, because obviously the Premiership starts back this weekend. So there should be some happy faces and there should be some sad faces. Hopefully more happy faces than sad. Do you know what I mean? So John, could you tell everybody what you got coming up next and where they can find you, my good friend?
Thank you very much for having us on tonight, Rod. It's been brilliant, and thanks in the chats as well. And what I've got coming up is I'm doing a pre-recorded show tomorrow with a Wolves fan, hopefully. Saturday, I'm not too sure yet, but I'm doing a match day vlog on Sunday while I'm at Wolves. So while I do match day vlogs, I'm going to post it out on Sunday night. So please give a like and subscribe. I'll go do the podcast show on Monday if I can get me regulars to come on the channel as well. So please keep your eyes peeled for that. I do live shows, previews, reviews, any breaking news as well. We do that as well. So, and I'm on the road to 20,000 subs. So I'm less than 500 away from getting there. And, so thank you very much, man. And if you like the video, like what you watch, thank you. So, yeah, that'd be amazing. And if I can get 20,000 subs over the moon, I could take it to a different level. And just if you're new people, hit the subscribe button, and I should keep working tough.
Listen, you're one guy that's worked very hard for your subs. You work constantly hard and stuff. You know what I mean? You constantly put out good content. So all the success that you get is well deserved, my friend. It is well deserved. I'm always fighting your corner, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm always fighting your corner.
Thank you very much, man.
You're always welcome on my channel. And yeah, congrats, man. And I just hope you get to 20,000 and beyond, my good friend.
Thank you very much indeed. I mean, what it is, right? I mean, I know waffling on again. I don't keep too long, but at the end of the day, right? We've got fantastic community like yourself, Fuzz, Posh, Sideline, Early Doors, and myself. And you've got Mama Flossie, you got Carl, you got Jez, you got some at least some Guna and that as well. All those people as well, and Tony Gunner, Tony as well. I'm not being funny, but we got a fantastic community. We don't call people out. We work as a team. We're YouTubers at the end of the day, right? We work together. There's no competition. There's no moaning. We work as a team. We are a team.
Support each other. And Fuzzy says like 20K. Send some my way, John.
Send some my way too, was right.
No, we did.
Spread it out. So
yeah, you got a lot to go. You got a lot to go around. Tony, my good friend. Listen, it was good to have you on tonight. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully we do this again next week. Do you know what I mean? It's always good when I do shows with you. I still remember that show that we done when you had me on for one of your shows, and it was like an in-depth look at fans. So we was talking and that, and then your mate come on, didn't he? Your mate come on.
Yeah,
later.
yeah. James
And
came
we-
on there. Yeah, the E20 one. Yeah, when we did the spotlight when I did the Q&A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we was talking for ages. We were just talking for ages, and that was so refreshing that day. So like, cause his insight on football and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's very good. I mean, I learned a few things as well. Do you know what I mean? You know.
Yeah.
And that was really good. It was kind of like what this sort of like content creating is all about. That you can meet people with the same ideals as you, and you can have a nice chat. No egos or nothing like that. Have a nice chat.
exactly.
So please tell the people what you got coming up next and where they can find my good man.
Yeah, so the name you can see just below me is Early Doors Football TV. Sunday is the Sunday Night Takeaway show. That's a regular slot every 8 o'clock. And then, of course, on Wednesday, the guy above me and Anthony Herbert, we do the Good, the Bad and the Ugly show,
Good show.
where we talk about obviously West Ham, Arsenal, and Man United, and cover quite a few topics. Last night's show was, was an extremely good show we did, and then obviously, I've got some more spotlights in the way in the coming up as well. So people like Posh Bertie, John, Sideline, you never know, you might get a shout. Come on and do a spotlight with me, and let's find out about you guys. Let the people know what you are.
I'll tell you what, guys.
But Uncle, before you
Sorry.
interrupt you, I mean, Uncle, it's been a pleasure coming back on again, and I know it's been a while, me and you, but it's it's always worthwhile we do get back together and that. So,
Okay, for sure. Listen, no matter how long it is, we're always going to get back and do some stuff. Trust me, we're always going to get back and do some stuff. Because as I said, Nate, listen, when I do your shows, I enjoy myself. It's enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? Enjoyable and interesting. So it's something really that I want to be a part of. So no matter how long it is, I'm always going to do things with you still. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I mean? And for guys as well, go back and watch that show, The Good, Bad and Ugly on Wednesday, because that was a good show. I was in there for a while watching it and that, whilst I was doing some like my assessment, my coursework and that. And I was listening to it as well, watching it and listening to it. And it's a good show. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, you have these people around you, Tony, and they're good people. I mean, listen, I found Hot Fuzz for New. I found him for New. Do you know what I mean? And then we started to work together. Do you know what I mean? So this is what it's all about. No egos. It's all support each other. And get where we want to get to. Do you know what I mean? We come on.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, John said it earlier on. We know obviously sometimes John gets a lot of stupid people going on these streams and so forth. But John, I mean, coming up to 20,000, that's no mean feat, mate. I mean, that's all you. Yeah. So don't care what people say in there. People are always going to say things. We get it at some point of form in that. At the end of the day, in that, as you always do, keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep doing your stuff. Keep it real.
Thank you very much for that. And the thing is as well, I've just asked people to on DMs as well, can you sub me channel? I've been to Japan. I've tried to get them to sub me channel as well, which they've done as well. Numbers goes up as well. It goes down as well. I get that. But at the end of the day, I do little videos as well, like shorts and that and clips as well. And I shot subs goes up as well for that. You know what I mean? So I must have done something right. But if they're my fan base, right? Some of my fan base social media. I don't know if any guys go to social media. I don't know, but I go on social media. But at times, I feel like I'm off it because there's too toxic there. I mean, the fact is, at the end of the day, there's a lot of Newcastle fans are so jealous, right? So damn jealous, right? Whether I do match day vlogs or whether I do my interviews as well, whether I do what I normally do as well. But there's a little story quickly. There's a guy, right? And he said to us, "Can you put your phone away and watch the match?" Yeah. And then someone told him to F off. Yeah. And rightly so. It's not his place. So, you know what he did? He went running. Like Kenny Kennan says, he went running. Yeah. He went running, clapping himself. Do you know what I mean? And he never once said no word to us ever again. Because you know why? Because I'm good at what I'm doing, right? I'm not harming anybody, right? I mean, someone put a middle finger up and me back and against Spurs the other week, right? Which is unknown to me. That was splashed out on social media. So I had to tend to take it down. And then people were able to go, me? We didn't match day vlog. So I'm sorry. Get used to it, all right? You got myself, Adam Pearson, right? He's a good guy. Lee, Newcastle FANZ TV, he does it. Tyneside Live does it as well. You got all the people like Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, Spurs fans does it as well. So at the end of the day, everybody does it. Everybody does it, yeah? We can't do anything about it. So at the end of the day, right, if you don't want to watch what I'm doing, don't watch our videos. Simple as that, you know? We never tell you. You never told him or her to watch the videos, did I? So at the end of the day, right, you know, I've done it for 3 years, right? They're going to have to get used to it. And I know our fan base do not like YouTubers. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can do about it.
Do you know what it is? And I always say this. Remember, you can't make everybody happy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You can't make everybody happy. Somebody's always not going to be happy. So I just let them literally do what they want to do. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
As long as I'm happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's definitely people out there that do genuinely just do it for the shits and giggles, anyways.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you got people who stick on their chats that you have to be a subscriber to chat. People don't just do that to go into putting in effort to put in hate, but people also pay money to put in the hate. Literally, people subscribe to a channel and they think my comment might not get read out, or my comment might not get seen by a moderator and removed before the show host reads it out. Let me put it in a super chat. He'll have no choice but to read it out. So people will literally put money towards making themselves look a complete and utter arse clown on the internet.
Arse clown, you know.
just for the little bit of tokens with everybody else that doesn't like the content creator. They'll run off to their little group chats and say, look at what I posted on his chat.
Yeah.
But people get blocked. People are blocked, right, on social media, right? Somehow still find me clip and post it on for social media, right? But the trouble is trying to get it reported, and Twitter won't do anything about it. They're absolutely clueless, clueless, man. Yeah. But the thing is, one thing I'm going to say, right, and I'm going to tell you for a fact, right, I'm taking a lot of crap because anyone on social media are taking a lot of crap, yeah. You know, at the end of the day, right, I'm not going to rise to them. I'm not going to rise up to them. Yeah, let's be real. Because you rise to them, they're going to come back for more and more and more. That's what they want of you. They want to rise to you. That's it. And I'm not going to give them any energy or time or passion to wasters like the trolls. Yeah? That's it. The trolls, keyboard warriors, my suggestion to you, get in the bin. Get in the bin. Because you know what? They're not wanted here.
You don't give them any time. Hot Fuzz, could you let the people know what you got coming up next and where they can find you, my good friend?
You can find me on Hot Fuzz 44OG on the YouTubes. Of course, got the game this weekend on Saturday, so next guaranteed piece of content on the internet will be the match reaction or the funeral procession, as is whenever Manchester United lose a game. We'll be featuring on the Sunday Night Takeaway show unless Tony decides to have some G-men assassinate me across the weekend just so that I can't make it, but you never know. You never know. Might just wake up one morning and choose violence. Aside from that, that's pretty much all I've got planned, but you never truly know. There's probably something that happened, spontaneous news release or press releases, and so provide us some content to make. But yeah, other than that, if you're watching on my show on my channel, you'll see everybody, all the panelists are featured on the stream with the channel links in the description as well. So it's all hyperlinked. Click on everybody's titles and subscribe to all the channels featured in the channel description and all of that good stuff. And don't forget to like the streams as well.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Posh Bertie, my good friend. Let them know what you got coming up next and where they can find you.
So you can find me on Twitter or X at Posh Bertie. My Instagram is at Bertie Wanless, and you can find me and my illustrious co-host. Actually, I'm the co-host, really. Lee Meadows on youtube.com/Gooner Gathering. We'll be going Well, I'll be going live tomorrow with another member of our channel, Sam Wilson, regarding the North London Derby, doing a bit of a preview show for that. And I will put the link in for my the Guna Gathering YouTube channel right now. That should be in the chat.
Wicked.
Yeah. Go and
So guys,
subscribe. We watch Arsenal, so you don't have to.
Listen, guys, make sure you guys in the chat, make sure you go out and like and subscribe to everybody on this panel. Also, Thamar, I can't forget you. Let them know what you got coming up next and where they can find you, my good friend.
Well, thank you so much, Uncle Rods, for having me. It's been a while, I guess. So I'm back 5 months. Gone for 5 months, I guess, in my cave. It's awesome to meet you guys. You know, like this is such a pleasure and an opportunity to meet other, fans from other clubs as well. I like to watch other games too. Like at some point, I used to love Klinsmann when he played for Tottenham for Spurs. Can you believe that? Right? Isaac and Isaac and Tonali. Tonali, I used to watch him when he used to play for Brescia.
Yeah.
Before he even went to Milan, and I've looked at that player and I was like, this is the next Pirlo.
100%.
Exactly. So I love the community that you created, Uncle Rods. The relationship, the opportunities you create for us to meet other people from from fans from other clubs as well. Anyone who's looking for me on YouTube, you can find me Sideline Football Show. Subscribe to the channel. I'm coming back this weekend. I'm planning on doing a watch along for Liverpool game, as well as Arsenal and Spurs. I think that's going to be it's going to be the biggest game of this week. And the North London Derby. Oh yeah, definitely. It's going to be a big game. Oh yeah. So big up to you, Uncle Rods. Big up to the panel. It was awesome meeting you guys. I sub to all of your channels. I don't know if
Thank you
someone
very
can
Big ups, mate.
put the channels like in the chat, like for all of the panel. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll try and get Ravi to do that. Ravi, if you're still there, can you put these guys channels in the chat first? Put the guys' channels in the chat first, when you know what I mean? Come on, mate, do your job, son. You know what I mean? But yeah, so you got the Sunday night takeaway on Sunday night evening. I'm gonna try and jump on that. You know what I mean? I don't think I've got anything planned. Do you know what I mean? This week, this Sunday. So I'll try and jump on. Actually, you know what I mean? It's always good to have a chat with you guys. And listen, we'll be back next week talking about a bit more, because we have a lot more to talk about. Because obviously, Premiership starts this weekend. I want to see happy faces next week. It doesn't matter if you lost. I want to see happy faces. You know what I mean?
Always
You know what I
happy
mean?
on your streams, Rods. Always happy. To be
Yeah,
here.
I'm glad to hear, because you know what it is at the day. It's just like we all support each other, and it's all about sort of like
100%.
just gathering, being together, and just talking about our teams individually, and showing some support and just knowledge. Because I've seen some. I'm not being funny. I've seen some of these. I'm not going to mention the name, but I've seen some of these platforms that right, and by God, it's toxic. Some of it's very, very toxic. And I said, look, you know what? There's no way I want my channel to be like that. I pride myself on that day, sort of like people coming over and feeling welcome. Do you know what I mean? And sort of like, greeted well and stuff. And then they know the people that's in here on the panel, I've got manners and are respectful. Do you know what I mean? Not like some of these other ones I say, oh God, not for me, Tony. Not for me. Not for me. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, guys, as I said, thanks again for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Listen, guys, you can watch this on the replay. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second to do that, to like and subscribe. 2 seconds at most. You know what I mean? I last longer than that with sex, so you're all right. You know what I mean? 3 seconds, no joking. Yeah. But yeah, so like and subscribe, and make sure you like and subscribe to everybody in this chat panel as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow I've got a preview show of the Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. Got a preview show doing that. Want me to watch along this weekend because I'm working Saturday, so I might just do one on a Sunday. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I shall be back. Do you know what I mean? But in the meantime, guys, thank you for joining me. Peace, love, and respect, guys. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace,
Awesome.
peace,
Thank
peace.
you. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Take care.
Thank you.